Good afternoon, sir. Will you mind telling us your name, please?
My name is Yahya Jao. I'm a student of the University of the Gambia School of Journalism and Digital Media.
Okay, thank you for honoring to speak with us today. My question for today is, what do you say to the suggestion that Essa Faal has been very personal with Edu during the TRRC session yesterday and today?
I debunk that statement for the fact that Essa knows his work and he is doing his work accordingly, not only because of Edu. You understand? These testimonies have been in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, for almost a year now. And Essa has been, to the commission and asking questions on different, to different witnesses, not only Edward. You understand? In fact, there was another council member who was also before the commission, and that is Sane Sabali. There were other victims. There were other people whom they are perpetrators. But to me, he is doing his work accordingly. So the fact that people are saying, Essa is not siding with Edward, but siding with Sana Sabali or is biased, I debunk those statements for the fact that the man is professional and is a legal-minded person and he can do his work accordingly.
But don't you think he's judging people, he's judging Edu based on evidences provided? Because according to what he said during the session, he told Edu, he clearly stated it to Edu that there are so many witnesses that came to the TRRC, and this is what he said. That means this is what he needed Edu to say. What do you say to that?
That is what I am simply telling you. Essa has the right to interject at any moment where he feels the witness want to manipulate or talk in any other way. You understand? Now, this is his work. People have to understand that. Now, people who do not have legal mindsets, we as citizens of this country should not sit, aback and trying to say things that we do not know about. Because why? These are legal issues. And that is why Essa is put into that seat. Essa was not just taken and put into that seat. Many people could have been there. But because the state and the entire people believe in the work he is doing, that was why he was put there. So if he is doing his work accordingly, if people are sitting down to say that Essa is putting words into Edward, I cannot accept that. Why? Because I am not a legal luminary. You understand? I am not a legal-minded person. I am not even a legal student. So I cannot understand whether or not Essa is trying to manipulate or not. All I would have to say is that he is doing his work accordingly. And he is recommended worldwide as being a counsel with that he knows his work so much so that he even works even beyond the borders of the Gambia.
Okay, the session continues on Monday. What do we expect? What should we expect from the TRRC?
Anyway, we just expect the TRRC to carry out their work accordingly. That is the way they're supposed to do their work. And not necessarily listening to people's comment, because those are not the people that are working. It is the commission that is working. Now, each time the commission or Essa Faal as lead counsel feels, that a witness is not saying what they want the witness to say, and that they want the witness to say this. But that is their work. You understand? Although they have no right to put word into any witness mouth. You understand? To necessarily tell the witness that this is what you are going to say. I don't think the TRRC has that right. But they have all right to frame their questions anyhow, to make sure they get the facts that they want to get from any witness that is brought before the TRRC.
Thank you, Yaya Jao.
Thank you so much.
What is your name?
I am Jenna Basso.
Okay, my question today is, what do you say to the suggestion that Essa Faal has been very personal with Edward Singate?
Well, I just have a short and brief comment to make because this is not just some ordinary interrogation, because it is between a lawyer and a lawyer. So you definitely would expect things like this, because Essa at one point would try to show Edward that he is experienced and he knows it all. And on the other hand, Edward would be there to defend himself, and he would not just give in like that, because he knows the repercussions that would definitely follow after everything. So he definitely would beat around the bush to make sure he covers himself. And Essa is somebody who would give all it takes to make sure the yes answer comes from your mouth. So when you say it's personal, I wouldn't say a no to this, because of recent we have seen that the interrogation has become some word personalized that is between them. They're like attacking their personalities in a way that they are covering up. But in real sense, when you look into it, you would see that they're not serving the public what they expect from them.
Exactly.
Yes. It's like they're getting out of hand. It's like they're going out of topic. It's like they're not really talking about what we want to hear. Because Essa, on one hand, would push Edward to give him the answers he wants to hear personally, and Edward, on the other hand, would be there defending himself. I think there should be a bit of professionalism applied to this whole thing. It's really necessary. If Essa becomes a bit more professional, we're not actually saying that he isn't professional, but then he needs to put up with, okay, he's a lawyer, he should be flexible enough that any witness that comes his way, he should be flexible enough to go in line with whatever condition that person wants to testify in. So, of recent, I am definitely disappointed because to me, 2 days would be enough for a single witness to testify because it's not a matter that took forever or it took a long time to end. It was a matter that happened in intervals. So definitely if Edward would just go straight to the point, which he is actually running away from, and Essa wouldn't allow him, they would have ended this matter some long time ago. But the fact that they are personalizing everything is like dragging the time a bit longer. So I wouldn't say it's not interactive. It's like good because everybody has their own ways, their techniques and tactics they would use to get to where they want to. But it could have been more professional in order to save time, in order to save everybody, and to just get to the point. Yes, that's what I think of the whole.
Okay,
thing.
thank you, Geneva. What should we expect from them on Monday?
Well, if I would analyze, I would say if Edward is actually saying the truth, he would stick to whatever he's saying. You know, this event was happening and everybody has a perception of how they saw things. Okay, for instance, as we are in the environment, you are seeing things in one way and I am definitely seeing them in another way. So if Edward continues seeing things the way he is, like if he believes that he should continue defending himself, he obviously would continue portraying the same image he has been bringing forth this past 2 days, and Essa himself would keep pushing because there are some things he would wish to hear from Edward that he isn't hearing. So I think if they go home and like relax during the weekend, they would internalize and decide if they really want to keep dragging this whole thing and wasting everybody's time, or they just want to do this once and for all. But I think Essa should be a bit more professional, and Edward should just adjust a little bit more. Like he should just try to give answers to the questions that are asked, just plain answers, just straightforward answers. It would like make the whole thing work. But I doubt if they would comply, because these are lawyers and everybody wants to execute their professionalism or their techniques or their law tactics on one another, which would not actually work, because this is not what they are on TV for. They are there to like awake the masses. They're there to inform us of what happened. So I definitely don't think it would be as easy as it was this week. Maybe Essa would come with more force and Edward would be there to defend himself more.
Okay, thank you, Geneva.
My name is Tony F. Mendy, third-year law student at University of Gambia.
Okay. What do you say to the suggestion that Essa Faal has been taking things very personal with Edward Singate?
No, I think that suggestion is dumb, and anybody who really understands legal proceedings will not say such. I think Essa is doing the work in the best of manner that I expected him to do. We need to understand that certain witnesses are hard, and they came to the commission with a preconceived mind, and they have an agenda. It is up to the council to push them to the direction which he wants them to go, in order for him to be able to connect the dots and reveal the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, but recently we have seen from Essa Faal and Edward. Mm-hmm. Essa has been putting Edward in a spot. That is, he wants Edward to accept what he wants him to accept. That is, he told Edward that this is the evidence is provided. That is what we want you to accept. So is that how it will be?
In a way, it seems so, but Essa is not conclusively saying that that is the truth or so forth. But if that was the case, he would not have invited Edu there. But he is putting the evidence based on the evidence that the commission received. So Edu also is provided the opportunity for him to say his part of the story, and now it's up to the commission to weigh the evidence provided by both of them. And in weighing the evidence, the council, they have to let Edu understand that this is what is before the evidence, and it's up to Edu to prove otherwise. And in proving that also, he has to be guided. He doesn't have to go around narrating stories that are not relevant. The key issue is there, and Faal will always have to push him to the issue. So the council is right. This is the only way you can handle certain witness before the commission.
It has been a long session, and it will end on Monday, inshallah. What should we expect on Monday?
I don't really expect much. I expect Edu to do better because to me he's not really been truthful, he's not been honest, and he's not taking the commission seriously. He came purposely to mitigate his crimes, accept some liabilities, but not accept direct participation. You can accept general liability, that accept responsibility and so forth, but you don't accept direct participation, which is key or which is core there. And he's a lawyer, he knows that very well. That's why he's trying to play games. But I think that I pray that Faal maintains the manner of his questioning, and that will help to reveal the truth about what happened.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting to speak with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome.
What is your name?
Yankuba Conte, alias Yakub.
Okay, what are you studying here?
Political science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Yankuba, what do you say to the suggestion that Essa Faal has been taking things very personally with Edward Singate?
Yeah, well, we shouldn't expect Essa to go, very easy on Edward Singate, because Edward is somebody that, I call him like a criminal with a legal background.
Okay.
So it will not be easy for Essa to go soft on him. Yeah, so what Essa is doing, yesterday it was so kind of soft, and people were complaining that, Edward is taking over Essa, but today when you see how Essa come, to encounter, Edward, I was very happy about it. Yeah, he did fine today, and it was very good.
But according to what Edward and Essa has been going through, it seems like Edward was forced to accept what evidences that are provided against before the commission, rather. So what do you say to that?
Yeah, it was not like that, in my own perspective. I see things as if Edward wants to take things, collectively. He don't want to take things personally. He don't want to take the personal responsibility. So Essa want to push Edward to take things personally, because it was let's say three evidence where three witnesses here where provided the evidence that Edward was the one that shoot. So Edward cannot escape from that. So Essa have to push Edward to accept it, to accept the responsibility personally. But Edward want to take things collectively. I was present, but I didn't do it. So me being present, I take the responsibility for being present, but I don't take the responsibility for doing it. And how can you point gun on somebody? All of a sudden you just had a son and you didn't shoot. Logically it doesn't make sense. You're the one who having the gun and you pointed a gun on somebody, and all of a sudden a shoot occurred, and you said you didn't shoot, but shot occurred, and nobody around there that shot. So logically, when you look at that, Essa shouldn't go soft on him on that point. Yeah, he should force him to take the responsibility, obviously.
He should be forced to take the responsibilities.
Yeah,
the session has been long for 2 days now, and it will end on Monday, inshallah. What should we expect from the commissioners?
Yeah, well, like Essa always said, the decision lay on the commissioners, and let's just wait and see what will come out of it. So we are not optimistic about the results of the commission. When we heard about the Journey Commission issue, when the results were out, the white paper issue, the government, let's say the president, what he did about the issue of Mamburenjai and others, it's a selective justice. So we are not optimistic that the TRRC also will be fine. Maybe I'm not optimistic though that the results of the TRRC will be fine the way we expect if the never again will not come out of it.
Let's be optimistic. I am optimistic.
I'm not optimistic.
Okay, thank you, Yankuba.
Thank you.